And we have already introduced Pythagoras theorem. What is Pythagoras theorem? That's actually hypotenuse is always biggest side of a triangle. Like in this right angle triangle ABC, the facing angle side to 90 degrees. This is 90 degrees at corner C. So the facing side is actually small c. It's not necessary whether you decide perpendicular base. You should just decide what is hypotenuse. The most important thing is hypotenuse is important. Okay, c square that should be separate on one side. Biggest side is square. Hypotenuse is always biggest side. Its square equals to the sum of the squares of other two sides, whichever you call base and whichever you call perpendicular, doesn't matter. So and hypotenuse is always side facing 90 degrees. Always side of right. This is the it's wrong. If you write b square equals to a square plus c square, it is wrong. But if you write c square equals to b square plus a square plus b square, or b square plus a square is the same thing, so this is correct. So how you can keep your result correct? If you just remember that hypotenuse should be on one side in this formula and the rest two sides on the other side. So you won't go wrong if you keep it in your mind. Okay? Hope you understand that. Now we are coming to the exercise questions. We discussed question number 10. That was like symbolic representation. Sides were given in symbolic form. So I should discuss it over here. Question. An algebraic equation that we have to solve for x. Okay, so it's easier. Square. In order to expand this x plus 3 whole square, you have to apply a formula of a plus b whole square. So there are three terms in this expansion. And here we have a product of 4 with x plus 2 because there is no sign between 4 and x plus 2. So they are multiplying. So the whole square goes to 4 as well as it goes to x plus 2. So it becomes like this is step I can write 4 square. And then next step is like 5 square. You have to apply a formula. So a square is like x square plus double of the product. 2x is the product, so you double it, so it becomes 4x plus b square, that is 2 square, so it's 4. I'm doing it directly. If you are not understanding it, I should mention this expansion on in front of it like this. X plus 9 and x 2 whole multiplication, so it has this square on it. Now it's like quadratic equation and then you can solve for x. Hope you understand that. Now we are coming to some word problems. That is actually the main reason why I am going to record this whole screen recording I'm going to share with you because of these questions. Like question number 11. Find the length of a diagonal of a rectangle whose length is 9 centimeter and width is 4 centimeter. So we are going to use the knowledge of a right angle triangle for other shapes as well. Even for three-dimensional shapes, this knowledge is also applied in case of prisms and pyramids as well. So because there are some faces which are making triangles and even right angle triangles, so we use this knowledge over here, over there as well. Question number 11 is based on a rectangle shape. So first I should draw a rectangle here. Now I should select, transform into well shape. So it becomes a rectangle now. Now I connect, I have to find out length of, find the length of a diagonal whose side length is 9 and width is 4. Width is 4 and the diagonal is any one diagonal. You can make any diagonal like this. This is actually x, which is required. So it's a very simple question. Just focus on this triangle. Don't see the whole figure. Just focus on this triangle whose one side is 9, the other is 4 and one is x. Apply Pythagoras theorem. C square equals to a square plus b square, keeping in your view that corner is 90 degrees in a rectangle. So the facing side, that should be the hypotenuse, that should be separated. X square equals to the other side, two side squares like 4 square plus 9 square. So x square equals to 16 plus 81. So x square equals to 97. So x equals to under root of 97. So whatever comes is your answer, right? Now you can check. You always check your answers. Also, you should check your answers from second, PDF form of the book, second part of the book. At the end of that part, answers are given. Question number 12. Discuss these questions. This is related to square shape. I should insert a square shape. Rest against a vertical wall. Its foot is 2 meters away from the wall. How far up the wall does the ladder reach? This is actually how you apply the knowledge of right angle triangles in daily life context. If a ladder is resting with the wall, quickly discussing questions. Length of the ladder is 4 meters and it's like 2 meters away from the foot of the wall, and how to what height it reaches on the wall. This is actually required. How far up the wall does the ladder reach? So this is actually x. Now simply apply Pythagoras theorem. But remember, not always x square equals to this square plus. You should certainly use c square equals to a square plus b square, where c is the hypotenuse, the biggest side, which faces 90 degrees. So in this case, it is 4 square equals to x square plus 2 square. So it's 16 equals to x square plus 4. So x square equals to 16 minus 4 is 12. X equals to under root 12. Whatever comes is your answer. I'm quickly moving to the next question. Question number 14. A ship sails 20 kilometers due north. First of all, we should draw a cross here. Whenever this comes, always knows this is north. This is how we show north. That is east. And these are more than enough. If you know where the north is, you can tell what will be the direction of south. If this is east, this is west. So just only north is to be highlighted as forward direction above the page. Then right side is east, and the rest can be guessed later on. So we have a question like question number. A ship sails 20 kilometers due north. Due north. And due east 35 kilometers. It should be a little smaller distance. It should be bigger, but it's just only a rough idea. So no necessity that you draw actual scaling and then drawing. How far it is from its starting point. First it moves from A to B and then B to C. So what is AC distance? This is 90 degrees. So now the question is easier, so you can solve it. X square equals to 35 square plus 20 square. And question number 15. Find the length of the diagonal of a rectangular box of length this, width this, height this. Find the length of the diagonal. Diagram is given, so you can understand well. Diagonal of a box is like this, from this corner to this corner. This is actually required. Now it is actually three-dimensional question related to 3 dimension and using the knowledge of right angle triangle. This is actually the condition, how the box is made. I should try to make this kind of box here. First of all, 2 identical faces, like this one is another identical rectangle like this, and then these 2 rectangular faces are connected like this. This is 5 centimeter and this is 4 centimeter, this is 12 centimeter. These are the dimensions of the block. But the requirement is like how we find it out. It's a not so tricky question, but you have to visualize in 3 dimension. The page that I am working on is actually in 2 dimension. So there is your visualization power should be strong in order to understand these questions. So what I should do, in order to find this value, I can connect the diagonal of the base of the rectangle. And this side length can be found from here, it is 90 degrees. Hope you agree that this face is actually the bottom of this cuboid shape, which is also 90 degrees. So this is another right angle triangle, flat right angle triangle, which is actually on this base of the whole box. So if you find the hypotenuse of this triangle and then use the height of the two rectangular faces which are connected with these two lengths. So if you focus on this figure, first I find it out AH. AH with the help of AD and DH. So it's a right angle triangle, and remember it's looking like obtuse angle but it's not obtuse because of 3-dimensional problem. We have to visualize that this angle must be 90 degrees in a box shape, like in a room you can see the corner, so it's always 90 degrees, so it's a right angle triangle. So first of all you find this length, I am supposing it as L. L is actually AH. I am first finding AH. The question is dealing with AG. AG is actually required in the question. I am assuming AH as L. First I find it out and then I go for X, which is the requirement of the question. Right? So in order to find the value of L, we have to consider a right angle triangle ADH. ADH is a right angle triangle. It's a flat right angle triangle on the base of this cube. So hypotenuse can be calculated as L. And now you should consider a vertical triangle AGH. AGH is a vertical triangle in a vertical plane where the hypotenuse is X now. So first we have to find out L as hypotenuse of this flat triangle or horizontal triangle, triangle in a horizontal plane, and then use it for finding the hypotenuse of this vertical plane triangle. So I should like do working over here. I think I should reduce size. Now we have L is 13 now. Now consider triangle AGH. AGH. This is in so in this triangle, this is another right angle triangle. This angle is also 90 degrees. So the facing is x. So x square equals to L square plus L is already known. So just substitute the value 13 square plus 4 square. X equals to under root of 13 square plus 4 square under root of 169 plus 16. Whatever comes is your answer, right? So this is how you should. This is actually coming 180, I believe. 185. Whatever comes is your answer, right? You can use your calculator even. So I'm just discussing how to deal with the questions. So I'm going to discuss further. This is question number 15 that we have done. Now question number 16. Find the length of a diagonal of a rectangular room of length. Similar kind of questions, so deal it yourself. There is nothing new. Exactly same. This is just like dealing with room, that is dealing with box. So it's a similar kind of thing. So you have to solve it yourself. And check your answer. Always check your answer from the second part of the book at the end. Okay? Question number 17. Sorry, question number 16 is done. Yes, question number. Find the height of a rectangular box of length 8, width 6. It's similar kind of question, but only given thing is unknown and known is unknown, unknown is known. So I don't think I should waste my time on this question. You can try it yourself because you have come to know how to draw the some dimensions like east, west, north, south, some related to navigation problems. But that was easier one. So this question, an aeroplane flies equal distance south, east, and southwest to finish 120 kilometers due south of its starting point. How long its part of how long is each part of journey. And an aircraft flies equal distances southeast. First of all, I should draw my southeast. This one is southeast. Go southeast. Southwest. Southwest is this. So it goes the southwest. And it reaches due south of it. So it reaches to south. Oh, so it finally reaches to. It's actually displacement of this particle. So it equal distances like this. But these equal distances are not mentioned. It finishes at 120 kilometer due south. So this one is 120 kilometer, but these two are unknown. Find how long is each part of this journey, means this distance or this distance is required, means x is required. So this is simply an isosceles triangle now. So you have studied isosceles triangles as those triangles which have equal side lengths. So the facing angles are also equal. Like, so is it discussed? It is necessary. Yes, it is an isosceles triangle. These angles are also equal, but we are not working on angles. But we know one thing: if we drop a perpendicular on this side, in an isosceles triangle, when you drop a perpendicular on unequal side from the opposite vertex, it splits it into two identical like this. So we have two right angle triangles, and it meets at the middle. So this distance is also known. 60 kilometers is this distance. So you can consider our right angle triangle over here. This angle is this is x, this is 60, and these two angles are also not known. We have to include angle theory here. And so these two angles are equal. Let's suppose theta and theta both are equal. As this was like this direction between east, I'm doing second part. Which is definitely a challenging one. You parts yourself. Now come to question number 22. Then okay, couple of questions left. The diagram Find the length of the ladder. So we have to find like either AB length, or we have to find uh, CD length. Both are same. Why they are same? Must be the same. Right? So you can try it by two approaches. First, you should consider a triangle OAB. From that quadratic equation, and then you have to find out value of L. Long question. question. Although we have found the value of x, but the question doesn't require value of x. It requires length of the ladder. So in order to find length of the ladder, now you should use any of the two equations, like L square equals to 25 plus 25 times x square. So 25 L square equals to 25 plus 25 times 4 square is like 4 square. So it's like whatever comes is the value of L, so you can find it yourself. That's all. Thank you, students. Hope you understand the questions. Now try. I have just left a couple of questions for the exercise for your work to be done, and they are little challenging questions as well. So I expect you to do some challenging questions yourself, so you learn more. Thank you, students. Allah Hafiz.